Hey friends, Powwow Guy here. Today I want to talk a little bit about hex signs. I don't think there's any sort of art or image that's more Pennsylvania Dutch than a hex sign. So a little bit about the hex signs. They were initially just kind of painted on barn decorations like hearts or stars and flowers, that sort of thing. And I guess it was in the early 1900s when more paint colors became available, that people started adding a little more color to the stars and flowers. And I guess the tourist industry thought there was some sort of spiritual or religious meaning to the signs, where they used to keep away witches. And so that's where the word hex signs kind of comes from. Hex being the German word for witch. So a couple of local artists sort of cashed in on this idea and started creating the hex signs as we know them now, with all different symbology and meanings and such to them. And they've just been, for over 100 years now, a huge part of Pennsylvania Dutch culture. And they have talismanic meanings. Now, most people just kind of put them up for decoration or to kind of celebrate their PA Dutch identity. I love the talismanic meanings to them. So that being said, I thought I don't really talk much about hex signs, so I thought I would do a little video about them, and just show some of the ones that I have and kind of talk a little bit about the meanings. So on my website, I have kind of a list of the symbols and what their generally accepted meanings are. So then when you look at the various hex signs, you can kind of put the elements together. Like you see the wavy border means smooth sailing through life. The birds, sometimes they're disselfinks, sometimes they're eagles, sometimes they're doves. They all, they could, depending on the bird, like a disselfink is good luck. Doves are peace, obviously. Eagles are strength and courage. This is a welcome sign. See, it's the German welcome. Tulips are faith. These little rosettes are protection from evil. Then you have hearts are obviously love. So this is just kind of an all-around blessing for anybody who comes to visit you. This is one of my older ones. Anyway, so let's look. Here's another good one. They don't all have words on them, so some of the rarer ones have writing on them. This is a love and romance hex. Obviously to give strength and happiness in a relationship, love, happiness, romance. I have this one. Usually this one's on our fireplace in the TV room. Hex signs are generally made on, I guess it's wood or some kind of pseudo wood. And I guess they're screen printed on here. Don't really know what screen printed is, but anytime you look up hex signs, they talk about screen printing. So, okay, we'll go with that. You can commission private artists to paint them for you, but that's a lot of money. These are like very cheaply made, mass produced. You know what though? They're still awesome. Now back in the day when the more elaborate symbols like this were used, I guess in the early 1900s and such, they were painted directly on the barn. They weren't separate discs like this and then attached to the barn, although they could be in some instances. I've seen that mostly on sheds and garages, and I myself do that on our garage or the outside of our house. But generally speaking, they're painted right on the barn for decorative purposes. Now, some people, I'm sure, use them for their talismanic properties, but that's a study way outside of powwow. They don't necessarily have a connection to powwow, but because they are just another form of Pennsylvania Dutch folklore and kind of a bit of magic and such, they've kind of got lumped into the practice of powwow. There you go. So love and romance hex. Here's a good one. Okay. These the double pointed stars. Okay, the pointed stars are actually for like happiness, a bright day, that sort of thing. A good day. You have tulips for faith. A protective circle. Circles represent eternity, infinity, long-lasting life. The traditional Pennsylvania Dutch hex sign is round. It is a circle. I've seen a couple that are square, but they're not. I don't know what they are. I don't even. Just the looks of them kind of freak me out. This one's interesting. Unicorns. Now the unicorns actually symbolize piety, belief in God, devotion to God, and they have this big tulip for faith. Little tulips in here, heart for love. So the unicorns is a symbol of piety, religious belief, faith in God. And you can buy these. There used to be a lot of like cutesy gift shops around Pennsylvania. Not so much anymore. But you can probably find these online. There is still like the Pennsylvania Dutch Gift House. They still have an online business. I don't think their shop's open anymore. But nevertheless, that's neither here nor there. But you can still get these. They're pretty common to get, at least here in certain parts of Pennsylvania. Usually a hex sign like this size, you generally pay between $7 or $10. They're not much. So here you have the Rosettes. It's protection from evil. Also, because it's the 6 points, it's what's known as the hexafus, or the witch's foot. All right, so it protects against witchcraft. And the hearts, of course, are for love and kindness. This is one of my older ones too. I usually have it outside. Like some people call this the rain hex because of the raindrops can help bring rain, but more it's fertility. The 4-pointed star is a happy day, a nice bright day, okay? Nice smooth sailing through life, protection, fertility. So it's a good like abundance, happiness kind of hex. But yes, it's also known as the rain hex, and if you need it for that, you can use it for that. Now, how do you use hex signs? That's a good question. So I just have them up largely for decor purposes, but sometimes they're good little symbols to meditate on. I don't know if I have an example. Here we go. I do have an example. Okay, so if you're powwowing for somebody and they're saying they're having difficulty in their relationships or whatever, maybe they can hold on to this while you're powwowing for them. Or maybe you can make a copy of this and give it to them, just kind of to tuck it away inside their whatever, just to kind of bring that blessing on them. All right, so that's how you would use those. Talismanic, where are right here. The Disselfinks are my favorite. Okay, so you can have Disselfinks. They're like, sometimes there's double Disselfinks, which is double the good luck and happiness. But I like the Disselfink. Good luck, happiness, faith, love, protection. Okay, these are nice. Something's on the back. Oh yeah, here. There's something on the back here. See, Disselfink says, the PA Dutch Thistlefinch is a symbol of good fortune, perched on a heart for love and surrounded by tulips for faith, hope, and charity. Moyer Sign Company, Gilbertsville, PA. That's cool, huh? So sometimes you pick these up at like flea markets or antique shops or yard sale. You know what I mean? You don't know. There might be something on the back. This one here. Okay, this is a double one. I used to think this was the Christmas hex, but you see the birds. There's love, faith, happiness. It's just kind of a generic sort of happiness hex. See, and unlike a lot of them, a lot of hexes are. You see, they'll have the two images exactly the opposite of each other. Where's another example? They're what you call like both sides are the same. Both sides are equal. So this one's a little more stylized in that the two images, it's not exactly the same, but opposite on either side. So that's a slightly different type of hex. This is slightly larger. This is the double disselfink. Love, happiness, good luck, smooth sailing through life. Again, on that, I don't know, wood, pressed cardboard. I have no idea what that is. But this is a nice one. I also have one just like this out on my garage, on the outside of the garage. It just so happened that I don't know if somebody got me a second one or not. But these larger ones are nice. They're still less than 20 bucks. I think something like this is usually between $12 and $18. So not bad. I mean, these are very affordable and they're very nice and they make really good gifts for Christmas. So the double disselfink is double happiness and good luck and double smooth sailing through life. And they're cute, right? They're simple. They're usually just primary colors. They don't get crazy with the colors. That's how you can tell they're authentic. Authentic PA Dutch tradition. You know, just the primary colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue. You know, that kind of, well, you won't see much orange, but you'll see a lot of red, blue, green, yellow with a white background. Here's another one. Look at that. The oak leaf hex. That is for strength and protection. This is a fantastic one of my favorites. The red, the yellow, the green, the blue, the white background. There is some brown in here for the acorns. But this is a hex for protection. See? It's nice, right? The last one I had to show you, this is called the daddy of all hexes. If you only have one hex sign on your property, you want this one. It's literally called the daddy of all hexes. Okay, for starters, it has the protection from evil in the center, and then it's followed by 12 petals. All right, that means blessings, happiness, fertility, abundance, protection, prosperity for each month of the year. So 12 months. All right, and you can, this would be a good one, like if you put it up in January, you know, and then at Christmas time you take it down and, you know, maybe say a prayer on it for another year of blessing. You know, I'm making that up. There is not, there's, that's not part of it. You could just hang it up and forget about it. But, yep, a blessing for 12 months, and it's the most powerful hex sign. That's why it's called the daddy of all hexes. I once saw it called the granddaddy hex, but mostly you'll see it called daddy of all hexes, and you can look that up. So that's my little talk on hex signs. There are a couple of little books you can get. Like I have a few of these older things. You'll see a lot of these kind of books in gift shops and such around Pennsylvania. Hex signs and barn decorations. Like these are older. But this one's cool too because it talks about like the history of painting on the barns, like writing on the barns. And then you'll see, you know, hex sign art. And then this one's interesting too because it shows some drawings. Look at that. Right there, that's like Hebrew. This comes from like Grimoire stuff. So I thought that was cool. Here's another one. You'll find these, again, in gift shops, Pennsylvania Dutch. You'll see the hex signs on. You know, and these are mostly showcasing Amish life. You won't see the hex signs on the Amish property. That's kind of people think they're Amish. They'd be a little too flashy for the Amish. They like things simple and plain. So don't get crazy thinking that the Amish have hex signs all over the place. They don't. Here's another one. This guy, this family, I guess, Hoyt, they make the hex signs. So this is a nice authoritative source. And this is a really nice book because it's spiral bound. But he shows not just like, he gives a history of hex signs, you know, where they come from, but then he tells you how to make them, which is really cool. It's really technical and complicated. There's like, you know, you can see how he draws like these symbols and such. I'm not an artist. It's not for me, but anyway, it might be for you. So there we go. That's our little discussion on hex signs. I wore a little hex sign t-shirt. I hope it was of interest to you. And yeah, put them up. Use them. They have great talismanic meanings. They're lots of fun. They're really pretty, nice and colorful. And they definitely celebrate your Pia Dutch identity. So that's it. Have a great day. Love you guys. God bless you. And we will talk soon.